Good morning, everybody. I am going to get straight into it today. So let me just go ahead. Give me 1 second to go ahead and share my screen. All right, let me just change the view here. I am so ready. Thank you for joining me today and for joining each other, guys. Having this collective experience is going to make this just so potent and so powerful. So I thank you for joining me live. And if you are watching this on replay, welcome. Let's get into it today. So first of all, welcome to the 27-day mindset reset. I want to begin by giving you the opportunity to just fully acknowledge yourself for everything that you've had to do to say yes to this experience. Some of you have had to push through resistance or hesitation to say yes. Maybe this is completely new for you. Maybe you've never said yes to an experience like this before. And so maybe right now you're feeling a little bit uncertain, a little unsure. I want you to fully acknowledge yourself for being here anyway. Maybe you have a million other things going on at the moment in your life, and taking this time right now feels like a real effort. Please acknowledge yourself for the fact that you are here. You have shown up. You are opening yourself to potential and possibility. We need to recognize anytime we do this for ourselves and to feel the love that is present within us when we do that. Even if it feels a little bit overwhelming, even if we feel anxious, even if we feel edgy, right? There is still love present within us simply by showing up and being here and being willing. So please deeply acknowledge yourself for this. It is really important that you do that. I also want to highlight that here in this group, we have the potential for a powerful, potent, safe container. I could have presented this just as downloadable documents. I could have made a membership site that you simply log into, take what you need, and utilize it within your own space, within your own time. But here's what I know to be true. As humans, we have needs that we all fulfill in different ways and that we all value in different ways. But contribution is the fast track to sustainable happiness. As humans, when we feel as if what we are doing is for the greater good of others, we are sustainably fulfilled. And so within this experience, I'm going to really encourage you to share what you are experiencing within the group. I'm going to give you many opportunities to come into this private Facebook group and share what you are thinking, what you are feeling, and what you're experiencing for a few different reasons. The first being that when we do this, when we allow ourselves to be seen and heard, when we show up with the raw truth and vulnerability of what we are going through in the moment we are in, we make it safe for others to do the same. So by you showing up and using this space to explore what is going on within you, you are actually encouraging other women to show the same sort of courageous action. And this private Facebook group can become a space where we get used to speaking our truth, being seen, being supported, maybe in a way we have not allowed for ourselves in a long time or ever. The second reason I urge you to share within this group over the next 27 days is that this is a safe space where everybody has the best of intentions for you and will receive you in a way that is non-judgmental. Sometimes within our lives, when we are moving through something or trying to process something and we share it with the people around us, in our inner circle, or maybe a wider net, it could be people just at work or within our community, what we are moving through and what we are sharing is not received in a way that is ultimately helpful to us. People are busy, people are distracted, people don't always have the emotional intelligence to process what we are saying, what we are asking for, and to reflect back to us in a way that is helpful. Here in this group over the next 27 days, I'm completely committed to holding space for you to come forward and share parts of yourself that you may have repressed, denied, ignored, or maybe just not explored before. This can be a powerful 27 days for you. And I urge you to share this experience literally by coming into the group. And when I prompt you to share something, to find it within you, to feel a little bit nervous and anxious about doing that, because it's not often that we allow ourselves to just be completely vulnerable, and to just trust me. Ultimately, that's what I'm asking. That you trust that I have curated this experience for a reason. I don't believe in coincidence. And so I know every single woman in this group has something absolutely necessary and vital to contribute. What you are going through will inspire the other women within this group, or will give them courage, or will give them hope, or will just allow them to be seen and heard and understood. When we see ourselves reflected in the experience of others, we are able to disconnect from some of the judgment and shame and guilt we might have attached to certain things. So that's the power in this group. We're going to be talking about creating daily rituals to best serve you. But ultimately, we are moving through this experience together. And when we can keep contribution at the front of our mind in all that we do in this program and all that we do within our lives, we are one step closer to sustainable happiness, fulfillment, and joy. Sounds good, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. So, basically, today I'm going to talk you through elements of this program. And I want this to be a time that I'm just kind of allowing you to get in the right frame of mind to fully absorb this experience. Okay, that's my aim. That's my intention today. So what I'm going to share with you over the next 27 days should not overwhelm you. I'm going to deliver it in a way that should feel quite simple. Now, I was going to give you a rundown of what I have planned to deliver each day, but I've given myself permission to not do that and to continue to feel into this group and the program and to make changes as I see fit and seen as necessary. So all you need to know is that each day you'll be able to log on into this Facebook group and there will be a new resource made available to you. That's all you need to do. Come into the group, honor your commitment to coming into the Facebook group and seeing what has been given each day. There'll be full instructions. I'm going to make it so simple for you to access and work through the resources I've created within this program. And that should feel really liberating. Now, a lot of what I'm going to share might be things you've already heard me talk about. It might be things you've seen before. It might seem so simple that you're a little confused at first. And sometimes people get a little bit anxious. They want the process to be faster, deeper. They want to get to the point, right? What I want you to truly understand is that there's a huge difference between something being common sense and common practice. Often there are things that you know that would be good for you, that if you did them would be in your best interest, would best serve you, and yet you are not doing it every day. Just because something is common sense doesn't make it common practice. Drinking enough water is a beautiful, simple example of this. We know we should stay constantly hydrated. But yet not everybody does that. It is not common practice, right? So what I'm doing in this program is simplifying it in such a way that it's accessible so that you actually show up and do it. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed in this process. For the next 27 days, I want you to honor your commitment to showing up and doing the work. If I overcomplicate it, if I make it seem too challenging, too overwhelming, people disconnect. I'm going to make this so simple for you that all you need to do is honor your commitment, show up, and do what is asked of you. Now, I know there's a risk in this. The risk is in simplifying this process and this program like this, everybody will think, yeah, I know this stuff. And what I want you to ask yourself is, yes, maybe you do know it, but are you actually applying it? Have you ever done the things that I suggest within this program consistently and to the best of your ability? And are you willing to find out what happens if you actually turn yourself over to this process? And don't just try something, but actually do it. Actually work through it for the next 27 days, because nothing works unless you are working it. So, over the next 27 days, I'm going to continue to ask you to choose yourself. It's really easy to decide that you want to come into a program like this and just have somebody like me give you all the tools and the step-by-step guide to how to get there. Show me how to treat myself better. Show me how to love myself more. Show me how to disconnect from all the negative self-talk I have. Help me to do that now. Show me the things I have to do to get there. I want to absolutely dissolve that idea within your mind right now. It's not about how do I get there. This 27-day mindset reset isn't about switching your mind to something completely new or different. It's working on who you are being so that you can actually be a person that prioritizes themselves, that rises into every day and chooses whatever it is you want to choose. Joy, resilience, optimism, strength, creativity, connection, whatever it is you want to choose for yourself is what you are going to choose daily. And that's what it's going to come down to. For the next 27 days, I'm going to constantly remind you to choose yourself, to really choose how you're going to show up for yourself, to be really tuned in to what you are experiencing, what you are thinking, how you are feeling when you try something new, to sit with yourself and have a conversation about what it has meant for you, what you have experienced. You are going to learn how to partner yourself through this process. For the first time ever, you might be showing up and thinking, you know what? Fuck yes, I'm going all in on this. This is totally for me. Maybe some of the things suggested are so far outside of my comfort zone. Maybe some of these things are not things I ever imagined myself doing, but I'm all in on this experience for myself. How would that feel for you? This process is about becoming more of who you already are. And so today, what I'd like you to start thinking about as we begin this process is whether there are parts of you over the course of your life, through your lived experience, parts of you that you've turned down or tuned out, aspects of who you are or your personality that you have made wrong. Maybe somebody else has shamed or made fun of or told you was too much. Maybe you have been the person that told yourself that those parts of you were wrong, unnecessary, not appropriate. And so you've turned them down or tuned them out. And maybe over the next 27 days, you could find it in you to access those parts of yourself and dial yourself right back up. And the subtext of everything that we do and everything that we choose for ourselves over the next 27 days is that I'm doing this because I love myself, because I choose myself. And because of that, I'm going to bring all of myself through. And the intention is that in the next 27 days, if I'm allowing all aspects of myself to be pulled through and brought to the surface and seen and experienced and honored, if I can do that for myself within this process, and I can create daily rituals that honor that, I'm going to allow that to start to be reflected in my life. And that's how I'm going to build a deeper, stronger, more intimate and confident relationship with myself. That choice, the choice to turn inward and dial up all of who you are rather than trying to be someone else or trying to be a version of you, that's a choice that no tips or tricks or strategy can do unless you do the choosing for yourself. It comes first. So here and now in this process, I want you to take a moment and make a commitment to yourself that you, maybe for the first time in your life, are going to be completely honest, raw, vulnerable, transparent about who you really are, not who you've pretended to be, not who you've been told you are, not who you have told the world that you are, but who you really are at the base of your being. That choice, that decision comes first. And so everything that we do over the next 27 days needs to be put through that filter. Am I being completely honest and connected to all parts of me? We choose this by checking in with ourselves, checking into our lives, and deciding that, yes, I want to make the most of the time I have on this planet, in this life. And so I don't want to waste any more time pretending who I am, or only bringing parts of myself through, or being a watered down version of myself. I want to bring all that I am to the surface and live a life that reflects who I truly am and what I am really capable of. Over the next 27 days, I'm going to help you curate things that you can do daily that will help you to honor exactly who you are. This is really important work for me because I truly believe that we all have gifts and something to contribute, all of us. And in your lived experience, you might have thought there's this part of me that it's just too much, too weird, too intense. There's something at the base of your being that you haven't allowed through. And this reset, this 27-day mindset reset, invites you to reconnect to all parts of you. The choosing element lets it all through and honors all of you and actually makes it safe to be the person you are here to be. That's what I want you to use this experience for. That's what I want you to use this container, the private Facebook group, to explore. What would it look like if I showed up and expressed all of me? It's exciting, right? If that kind of overwhelms you and you feel a little bit nervous and you think, oh gosh, I don't know if I can, that is the point. This is what you have invested in. The little urge, the nudge, the push to do that, and for it to be received in a safe, supportive way. Now, the other thing that I want to make super clear that I think is really helpful anytime we do any sort of inner work, and I think it's something that a lot of women get a little bit twisted if their mind is mismanaged around this concept, okay? Don't misinterpret inner work as a rejection of who you are. I'm going to say that again. Don't misinterpret inner work as a rejection of who you are. Sometimes we think that doing these things, anything that is about exploring who we are and becoming the best versions, I'm using inverted commas with my fingers, the best versions of ourselves, means that something about who we are isn't okay. And I see this space differently to that, okay? The way that I come to self-development and inner work, and the way that I would like you to see if you could come to this kind of work, is that I care about myself and I choose myself so deeply that I'm going to choose to open the door and let all of what's inside to come through. I'm going to choose to see all of my greatness, all of it, and let it come through. And I won't be negotiated out of that by other people's conversations about who I'm supposed to be or fitting into a box or even my own fear-based thinking. No more. Our mindset reset is about opening up to our own capacity. It's not about getting to a place that you are finally better. The best version of who you are is not something that you have to create, something that you have to step into. It is who you already are. It is about the desire and commitment to continue to evolve so that you can become all that you can be. And that is based on everything within you that has been waiting to burst forward. So if you've tried to curate daily rituals, if you've tried to do things on a daily basis to best support you, to make you feel better, to make you feel more aligned or motivated or optimistic, and it's fallen flat for you, if you just haven't followed through, excuse me, or it just hasn't felt right, it's probably because you tried to replicate what somebody else had designed for themselves. The only way daily rituals are going to become empowering and transformative and support your evolution is if you take the time to understand who you truly are beyond the bullshit facade that you have presented and polished to the world. We're going to turn inward again and again and again and get really honest and hold space for all of who we are to come through and be seen. All of it. It is there. It's not something that you have to create. It's something that you have to return to. I'm going to say it again. Do not misinterpret inner work as a rejection of who you are. Everything that we do over the next 27 days is about activating belief within yourself. We don't pretend to be the next level of ourselves. We're not fixing or improving. We are unleashing and activating everything that is inside us. This is not a rejection of self. Please hear me. Even if you've had a lot of negative self-talk, even if you've been your own worst enemy and really hard on yourself, please know that the work that we are doing to experience yourself and the world in a new way is not about rejecting who you are or who you have been. It's about connecting deeply with yourself. I want you to see if you can give yourself permission to be open to experiencing yourself in a new way. Today, as you sit here and you listen to me, I'd like you to feel into the belief that it is safe to unleash all of who you are. You might even like to say it to yourself. I am safe to unleash all of me, the juicy goodness of who I am, the real me, all of me. This is where all our good stuff is. Our intuition, our creativity, yeah? I'm like using my hands and I'm making this squeezy motion. It's that stuff within us that we don't know whether we can unleash and activate and share. I'd like you to be able to say to yourself, I'm going to deeply trust that all that I am, all my experiences, all my history and my past, I am choosing that all of that has been perfect. I'm actually thankful and I'm grateful for all of it because it's given me my unique perspective and personality. I'm not going to hide aspects of myself. I'm going to unleash all of myself. And let me tell you, friends, that doesn't happen in a moment. It takes practice, it takes work, it takes daily encouragement from ourselves to reveal a little more, to widen a little more, to crack open a little more, to trust ourselves a little more. But it's a commitment we make to ourselves, and using a program like this to support us in doing that will help us. If you make this commitment to yourself for the next 27 days, I'm going to be really honest and say you won't be at the end of that journey within this 27 days that we spend together, but you'll be closer. You'll have moved in the right direction. You'll have shifted your mindset and oriented yourself in a way that is supportive of your evolution, moving away from the bullshit that you have been experiencing and towards a more authentic, real, juicy experience of yourself and the world. You might like to consider it a hero's journey that you're about to go on. So in a movie, any movie that you watch, right? The hero in the movie, the main character, they come into their journey as a reluctant hero, usually, not fully wanting to go on the journey that they have been asked to go on. And over the course of the movie, what we watch, what we observe, what we take in is that they have to realize that they need to step up into what they have been called to. And it's always the thing that they have rejected or denied within themselves that makes the difference and helps them triumph once they decide to use that. And so for the next 27 days, what you are going to explore is what you have denied, repressed, forgotten, rejected within yourself that is actually waiting to be called forward, that would actually make the difference, that would actually help you to feel fully expressed within yourself and your life. Maybe there are elements of yourself that you have rejected or decided were too much, and you squeezed yourself into boxes that you didn't really belong in. So today we're asking ourselves to just open our consciousness to absorb the question, who is it that I'm meant to be becoming? And then setting the intention to align with that over the next 27 days. Remembering that we're reclaiming everything that is already within us. It's not rejecting yourself. It's not making yourself wrong. It's a deep owning of who you are, all parts of yourself. Each day is going to bring us another opportunity to look into our future and have a conversation with ourselves, asking ourselves, who is the me that I'm becoming without judgment? Because I do deeply accept all of who I am. And then I'm going to help you to create the rituals that allow us to feel into a state of embodying the fuck yes. Fuck yes. I'm not going to deny myself stuff. I'm not going to tolerate dialing myself down. I'm going to stop throttling myself and limiting my capacity. That's what the daily rituals that we cultivate together over the next 27 days are going to feel like. It's not just about feeling calm and centered. It's a fuck yes to everything that you are and everything that you know you could be if you fully embodied and integrated and honored all aspects of your being. How would that feel? To create the rituals that honor all of who you are so that you can let go of the judgment, of the rejection, of the negativity that you would usually infuse into your day when you look at yourself or experience yourself, and replace that with absolute support and love and strength and gratitude, so that when you go out into the world, you are so centered and aligned to who you already are, that everything that is supposed to be available to you is just completely visible, because you know who you are, you know what you are looking for, you know the worth of what you can contribute to the world, and the world starts to respond to the energy that you have cultivated within yourself on a daily basis. This is what I want for you. This is what we are going to create together. It's a lot of fun, let me tell you. So, what we first need to do, excuse me, let me take a drink of water. I've come straight out of the gates, haven't I, guys? Bang! I'm really excited for what I have created for you guys. What I want you to think about today is that in order to create these rituals that are going to support us, the daily things that we can do, and remember, for some of us, it's going to be 5 minutes because that's all we can do. For some 10, for some half an hour, you're going to be able to decide this for yourself. But ultimately, what it comes down to is your capacity to value your own needs. And over the next 27 days, the conversation that we're going to have again and again is one that explores the accountability and responsibility you need to take around your own needs. Understanding them, uncovering them, articulating them, and valuing them. And so today I'm going to talk about 2 things that I can see that usually get in our way when it comes to valuing our own needs. So the first thing, I think I've already highlighted enough, is a disassociation with self. Because we've repressed, ignored, denied, rejected certain parts of ourselves, it's very hard for us to then articulate our needs. And so we first need to connect to all aspects of ourselves to really feel into what is at the base of my being, what is the truth of who I am, what do I really need, and then we create based on that truth, not the things that we read online that we should be doing to help us feel better about ourselves, right? It's about reconnecting with self in a very powerful, intentional, raw, and authentic way so that we can actually articulate what it is that we need. But the second thing I think that gets in our way for most people, particularly women, particularly if you are in the role of caregiver, is that we have claimed certain roles that negate or block or get in the way of us being able to value our own needs. You might be able to relate to these terms: overgiver, people pleaser, overfunctioner. If this is you in any way, this is a big problem. And it's blocking your ability, your capacity to have a deep, connected, loving, and nurturing relationship with yourself so that you can articulate and value your own needs. And unless we can become a person who can consistently meet our own needs, we are going to go out into the world needy, trying to make other people or other things fulfill us. And it just, becomes this negative loop of neediness and wanting and expectation and putting things on others that we could actually fulfill within ourselves if we had a deep relationship with ourselves and we had daily rituals that allowed us to meet our own needs before we go out into the world. But instead, we have allowed ourselves to get our worth, to tie our value to how we contribute to others. It could be to your kids, it could be to your parents, it could be to your friends, it could be to your work. If you are an overgiver, a people pleaser, or an overfunctioner, today we need to talk. Okay? I can relate to this so deeply because I did it for most of my adult life, and I've had to work really hard within myself to untangle myself from the web that is people pleasing. If we're not conscious of what we are doing, how we are behaving, how we're interacting, it is likely that we can make ourselves the centerpiece in other people's lives. And we do this for a number of reasons, okay? The overgiver will constantly put herself out so other people don't have to. We try and control everything, including the way people think about us, even how they experience the world, okay? It's the wanting to do things for people because we think we can better manage situations, experience the day. We know them better than they know themselves. Or we just don't want them to experience any sort of just like struggle or harm or stress. We want to take it all on so that we can control what is going on and how everybody is feeling around us. Years ago, I became so overwhelmed because I was managing so much. I had taken on so much for myself. And I thought that's what I had to do to just be a good person. I thought that was my role. I thought to be a good friend, to be a good business owner, to be a good daughter and sister, to be a good wife at the time, that I had to be able to take on everybody's problems and be the answer. I thought that's what was expected of me if I was a person that was loving and kind and generous. So I didn't even question it. I was a super high functioner. And a lot of people overfunction for people and take on a story for themselves that is like, yes, I can do it, so I'll do it for you. And especially if you're a person that can be quite organized or productive and you can do things in a way that is just like fast and efficient, you will do things for people because you know that you can, and you just do it. And it becomes a problem for us. We become so overwhelmed and so consumed by everything around us, even if it has nothing to do with us. I had set it up so that everyone relied on me for everything, that I was always the answer because I could do it easily and naturally, whatever the problem was: emotional, financial, practical, day-to-day things. I was always the answer. I could solve it. I could hold space for them. I could hear them. I could take it on. And it was really exhausting, super exhausting. My day was just filled with other people's drama and problems and anxieties and worries and frustrations. And it made me feel like I was just doing everything for everyone all the time. And I had to get really confronted by how I had set things up and how much it was draining me. I had chosen to let everybody rely on me because it made me feel good about myself. It improved the worth that I had not yet cultivated within myself. It made me feel valuable. It made me feel necessary. It made me feel important because I hadn't yet decided that I was innately those things already. Because I wasn't sure that I fully loved and valued myself and could see my own worth. I made it so other people could confirm that for me. But here's the thing, when we take on everything for everybody else, we're actually taking other people's power away. We're not letting them grow. We're not letting them evolve. We're not letting them confront the shit that they have to confront within their own lives. And it's really uncomfortable to acknowledge that sometimes the way that we think we are loving somebody or taking care of somebody is actually doing them more harm than good. You know, if you've got children, you know, if we continue to just do everything for them all the time, we're limiting their growth and their capacity to develop their own independence. But we do it with grown adults as well. I was doing it within my workplace. I was taking on tasks or problem solving for staff. I've done it for partners for as long as I can remember. I try and make their life easier. And in doing that, I make life 10 times harder for myself. And I actually take away opportunities for them to feel empowered and productive and in control of their own life. It's really heavy to carry everybody else. And we have to ask ourselves, why do we do it? Because for so many women, when I talk to them about creating daily rituals for themselves, the first thing that they come back with is that it's really hard to take time for themselves. And so today, here's my first little pushback on you. How much of what you are carrying is actually not yours to carry? Somebody has to say it. Somebody has to have this conversation. I'm going to have the hard conversation with you. If you are carrying other people's stuff, if you are taking on their drama, if your friend's breakup is filling your day, impacting your emotions, if the financial stress of somebody you know is a problem that you are trying to solve day after day, you need to give it back to them. It's not to say that you can't take it on, but not as priority, not as front and center of your day to day. What are you carrying for somebody else that you could give back to them? Whether it's doing things or carrying it emotionally for them. I've stopped within my relationship doing the errands and the runaround tasks that I would have done for my husband in the past. I would have quickly ducked to the shops to get something that he needs. I would have made sure that his clothes were ready for work. I don't do that shit anymore. Because that is the time that I can take for myself to do the things that empower me. And he is more than capable of doing those things for himself. And it doesn't mean that I love him any less. And it doesn't mean that we are less connected because I give him his own tasks back. If you don't start to cultivate a mindset that unhooks you from being the people pleaser, over functioner, over giver as your way of being, it's likely that you won't ever know or own your needs, wants, and desires because you just won't have the space to explore it because you're so busy functioning for other people. A mentor that I worked with, she was very, very clear with me that so much of what I was taking on for my clients was too much. And she said something to me that has resonated so deeply, I'll never forget it. She stared straight down, it was a Zoom call, straight down the camera, and she said, listen to me, give yourself permission to take your hands off other people's stuff. Hands off, emotionally hands off. Stop relieving the burden of someone having to make a decision for themselves. It changed everything for me. It started within my business and the way that I was operating with staff and my clients, and I've allowed it to ripple out into all areas of my life. I remind myself time and time again to go hands off. Not my problem, not my thing to deal with, not my thing to embody and experience. We get so busy taking care of or anticipating the needs of others that even if we do have time for ourselves, we busy ourselves over functioning for others. My question is, do we actually have to do that? For the next 27 days, I want you to practice following through on what you have planned, even if someone else's agenda tries to change your plans. And that may feel really uncomfortable. Sometimes we have to break people's expectations of us. I know for myself, each evening, I want to sit and I want to read. It's something that I just haven't been doing. I spend a lot of time devouring things that will support my work, but reading a fiction text, just a story, is something that I really enjoy. And it's something that I hadn't given myself time for in a really long time. And so I've been doing that. And my husband said to me the other night, "Oh, I thought you were going to sit on the couch and watch TV with me." Now, in that moment, my brain went, "Oh, you better do that because he's going to feel unloved, unappreciated. It's going to create disconnect within your relationship." My brain went bang, 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 bang. All the ways that I was going to be rejected, unloved, if I didn't comply with his expectation in that moment. And I had to remind myself of my own need and my own desire, and that I had made a commitment to myself. And so I explained to him, "I know, but I really don't want to watch TV. And this is something I really want to do. How about I just sit next to you and snuggle you and you watch TV and I read and we both kind of get what we want?" What is it that you are doing for other people that you could allow yourself to go hands off on, that would actually give you more space within your mind, within your body, within your day to focus on yourself, to give to yourself, to remember that this experience is about you from the inside out? I wanted to have that conversation up front because I don't want to hear over the next 27 days that you had good intentions, but you got so busy. This is a choice that we have to make for ourselves. Remember, I said over the next 27 days, this is about choosing ourselves, prioritizing ourselves, exploring ourselves in new ways, and being open to experiencing ourselves in a new way. It is likely you're going to do things and say things and feel things that you might have never imagined yourself doing. And that's kind of the point. If we just go and replicate what we have always done, we're just going to produce things we've already experienced. And that's not what we are here for. We're here to open ourselves up to new experiences, to widen the capacity of who we are and what we could be and what we could call through if we got out of our own way. I'm really excited to hold this space for you guys, and I hope you are too. I hope you're excited to explore parts of yourselves that have gone unrecognized, maybe for a really long time. So today, what I would like you to do is just take some time to think about two things. What parts of you, what aspects of you, what interests, what feelings, what things could you embody that you might have ignored, repressed, denied? Just put that question into your consciousness. Who have I not allowed myself to be? What have I told myself is too much about my personality, my way of being, who I am? What things do I actually really enjoy that I've denied, that I could allow to come to the surface as potential and possibility for things that I could experience, whether that's within yourself or physically doing? This is going to be important over the next 27 days to call forward all aspects of yourself, so that when we do actually start to get into the nitty-gritty of creating daily rituals, we're honoring all of who you are, not just what you have presented to the world currently. All of who you are is going to be important in this experience. The second thing I want you to do is just consider anything that you would need to unhook from or let go of or go hands off on to make this next 27 days an experience that allows you to be at the center of your own world. And I'm not asking you to go 24 hours a day for 27 days, making yourself the center of your own world. But where in your day could you create space and time where you do allow yourself to go hands off on everybody else and just focus on yourself? We're going to talk about this in greater detail because that's a huge piece of this puzzle. Where is it in my day that I'm making time and space to connect with myself? And there's no right or wrong answer to this question. There's not going to be a right or wrong answer to any of the questions that I share here in this group. It's going to be about you coming through and bringing all of you through and answering with the truth for yourself. But first, we need to consider, where could I go hands off that I'm currently blocking myself? What do I need to release myself from? What stories do I need to stop telling myself in order to hold space for all of me to come through and be held? I think I'm going to leave it there today. So, welcome. Each day I'm going to post something into this group, and there'll just be instructions for you to engage with the resource that has been created, to share your reflection if you feel comfortable doing so, and even if you don't, to just try. And the other thing that I would remind you guys is that there is instructions to download an app. It's a free app called the Telegram app, and then to join a channel. And that's where you're going to receive audio coaching from me. So if you haven't done that yet, please go and have a look. It's in the virtual handbook, the instructions on how to do that. That's going to be really important too, because I'm going to deliver some audio coaching in there for you. It's going to be similar to these experiences, the masterclass experience, but it will be shorter form and you'll be able to listen to it on the go again and again. So here we are, the beginning of 27 days, my beautiful friends. Thank you for joining me. I'm not going to ask you to do anything more today. I just want you to absorb the intention. I want you to feel the intensity that I'm bringing to you in my capacity and my desire to serve you and hold this space for you. All right, beautiful women. Thank you so, so much for your time this morning. Go and have a beautiful day, and I will see you inside our private group. Much love.